Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Java coding exercises. My name is Kaila Mayho, and today we are going to look at another coding exercise from a Udemy course. The Udemy course is called Java Programming Masterclass for Software Developers, and the coding exercise is going to be minutes to years and days calculator. First, we are going to read the question, kind of understand what's going on, maybe take some notes to kind of understand the logic behind it, and then we will code it, we will run it in IntelliJ, as you can see there on the right, and then after we get it to work, then on the left, we are going to put it into their tester, and then check the solution against all of their test code. So let's begin. Write a method, print years and days with parameter of type long, named minutes. The method should return anything void. It needs to calculate the years and days from the minutes parameter. If the parameter is less than 0, print text invalid. Otherwise, if the parameter is valid, then it needs to print a message in the format xx min equals yy, lowercase y, and zz capital and d. The xx represents the original value minutes, the yy represents the calculated years, and z represents the calculated days. And these are the output and input examples we are going to try. And then here are some tips. Be extra careful about spaces in the printed message. Use the remainder operator. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. 1 day equals 24 hours, and 1 year equals 365 days. Note, the print years and days method needs to be defined as public static, like we've been doing so far in this course. Do not add main methods to the solution code. The solution will not be accepted if there are extra spaces. So now let's go to the top and start coding. So the first thing we know we have to do is create a void method that's also public static. Public static void print years and days, and then the parameter is going to be data type long, and the variable name is minutes. So let's start off with some comments. We know we're going to have some variables here. We know we're going to have some calculations when we convert it from minutes to days and years. And then we know we're going to have some output. Okay. And then we also know we have an invalid option, which we can put right here. Invalid options. So if the parameter is less than 0, print text invalid. So if minutes is less than 0, syst out invalid value. And then don't forget to put a return here, just so that if the value is less than 0, the program will terminate after it prints invalid value. So now it's next. Otherwise, if the parameter is valid, you need to print a message in the following format. Okay. So they've given us a format. We know what the values represent. So this kind of tells you what variables we need. We already have minutes taken care of. We may need another minutes, but we'll find out later. For now, we're going to do int year. This is going to store the minutes converted into years. And then we're going to do int days. And this is going to store the value of minutes converted into days. So I'll just put it here just to remind us. Store minutes converted into days. And then stores years. Stores minutes converted into years. Okay, so we got some variables, we got the invalid option. Now Let's scroll down to the tips for calculations. Now, anybody wondering like, oh, how would I do this if this example wasn't given? Basically, you could do this on your own. The tips at the bottom would be kind of what you'd have to figure out on your own. And in the link below, I'm going to leave a description of a program that I did last week called 99 Bottles of Beer on the Wall, the song. And in there, I kind of go over how the thought process more of adding on to code or creating something from scratch that doesn't have to do with these kinds of examples. So, back to this. We know we're going to use the remainder operator, and they gave us the conversions here. So, let's think again what we're trying to do. So, we're trying to convert minutes into days or hours, or so be it. So, first things first, we know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, 24 hours in a day, and 365 days in a year. So, if we have int equals, let's think this through a little bit here. So, we basically need to know how many minutes are in a year in order to convert. Yeah, that's what we need to know first, is how many minutes are in a year. So what we can do here is we can pull out a calculator. Okay, so there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, so it's 24 hours in 1 day. So you can do 60 minutes times 24, and that's going to equal 1440. So we just covered how many, there's 1,440 minutes in 1 day. So then you do that 1 day times 365 days. So we know that there are 525,600 minutes in a year. So we're going to take that number, 525,600. Since we know there's that many minutes in a year, we have to divide that number by the number of minutes given, if I am not mistaken. Right? That's right, guys, right? Here, we can test it out. So, see here in this example, I didn't even have to do that, but if we see here, right, they already tell us how many minutes, and it tells you it converts into 1 year. So, you would just have to kind of think, okay, what would you need to do if it was the other way around? So, in this sense, we would divide by minutes, if I'm not mistaken. We can always check it. My math's kind of not clicking right now. But here in days, this is where we would use the mod operator. Because whatever's left over from that number, that's what's going to be the value of days. So like here, they don't have any left over. This one, they have some left over. So why are we... Oh, so it's giving me an error because it's counting this as a different, like not a part of the same class, if you will, or a set of information. So this should fix it. Let's see. Oh, we have too many if statements. I mean parentheses. So why are we getting this error? Oh, okay. Right. So all these have to be of the same variable type because in Java, they all have to be the same variable. We could do typecasting, but it gets a little confusing. If you guys want to learn about typecasting, I'll leave a link in the description below as well. I did a video on typecasting. But back to this. So we got those errors fixed. So now, in order to see if our stuff works correctly, all we have to do now is create a print statement. Just basically, we're going to lay it out in this format. So right now, we're testing to see if our information is right with their information. So we're gonna just set up the layout here. Variable minutes plus space min equals y. Remember, the spacing for this problem has to be very exact, because otherwise the solution isn't, they're gonna count our solution as incorrect. All because of spacing. Yes, it's freaking annoying, but that's how testers are. They're very precise, which is why we need them. Alright, let's see. We still have an error here. I think it's just saying we have an extra curly brace. Oh, it expected another one. And then in IntelliJ to fix it, to fix the format, it's Control-Alt-L. So you can see everything lined up a little better. So let's run it and see if we can get the correct answers. I already created the test on this side with the stuff and the output, so let's see if we get the right answer. Just on our side before we test it in the coder. In the tester, I'm sorry. Okay, it's building. Okay, so it's looking like I forgot some variables here. Days was supposed to go right there, so that's why days didn't work. Minutes worked. So it's looking like I am having difficulties dividing here. So let's see how to fix that. Obviously we got the right answer for the first one, because it was years. The second one, we were supposed to get a 2. Let me see if I put the right number in there first. It's the right number. But we didn't get a 2. Now, why did we not get a 2? Heck, we didn't even get a 1 in the other one. 25600 divided by minutes. Any thoughts, guys? I'm trying to figure out what the error is. If you guys can see it before I figure this out, it's going to be figured out. But go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Tell me where you did it before I did. You see computers and updates. Okay. Guys, I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. So, what the heck, man? I mean, we can always Google it to get the right answer, but the first one worked, therefore the second one should have worked. We got the right variables, it's doing the right thing. You divide that by that, it's gonna equal 1, so. And then you can't do it the other way. Or can you? Is it minutes divided by 1050? I'm sorry, guys. I've done so much math. I've done calculus. There we go. There we go. So we just literally have to move this over. If you guys look at my other videos, I didn't have this problem before. With, you know, dividing and all this good stuff. But look. Woo! Let's see if we got it now. I'll probably have to switch the other one too. Okay. So we did get the years. So we corrected the years. So all we have to do is switch the days and we should be fine. Everything should work perfectly. You can, I wouldn't recommend putting commas or anything like that here. Look at me, I'm writing it the same exact way. Don't make the same mistakes I am, guys. You can see here, you know, the logic is really what is confusing, because we have to teach the computer to do something that we can do that we write on paper, or in a sense use a calculator for. So that's supposed to be 25 days. We got a remainder of 3,600. 600. So that's the remainder. So then outside of that, we are going to divide. So the remainder is 3,600. So then if we have a remainder of 3,600, we know it's supposed to be 25 days. So you would do 3,600 divided by 24. Nope. Guys, help me. Okay. This is why calculators just suck. We are using the remainder operator. So we know for the remainder answer, the answer is 3,600. 3,600 days, which it's not really days, what we're really converting. Hold on, I'm not going to give up on you guys. We're going to figure this out. Okay, so we're using the remainder operator. Like I said, we got the years right. So leftover from years is days. Well, in this sense, because we're converting minutes to hours. I mean, minutes to years. So if we convert minutes to days, we would need to know for 60 minutes and 24 hours. So I think it's just 60 times 24 is 140. So then if we did 3,600 divided by 1440, it would equal 2.5. Which we're almost there. That's not the exact answer. So if we did 525660, that's going to give us 3,000. And then if we did divided by, we're going to get 2 point. I know I'm making this super complicated, guys. I'm so sorry. I had another way of solving it, but it's just not coming to my brain right now. Oh, snap, it worked. Okay. Leave a like, guys. Like, subscribe, notification bell. We freaking figured it out. Okay. So now we got all the right answers for the test code. Let's go up here and see so you guys can see. We got 1 year, 2 year, 1 year, 0025. So we just have to fix the space. That's really easy. Bam. Let's run it again. Okay, and that's right. And now we are going to copy all of this and put it in their tester to make sure it works. I'll show you guys the math here in a second that I did on a separate calculator because I wanted to continue to look at everything. So let's check it. You guys know, if we get it first, you gotta leave a like. Yes! We got it first try. So basically, if you guys want to know again what that did, is it tested all the other possibilities of what the minutes could be. So you guys can go back in now that we've finished the code. You can literally put any kind of number of minutes in here and it'll convert correctly in terms of converting from minutes to years and days. So now you've created a minutes to years and days calculator. To see this math here a little bit in terms of how to fix it, if you think about it, right, what we were trying to do was convert this number, 5,061 and 600, okay? So in order to get the years of that number, we would first have to do that number, 561,600, divided by 525,600. Yeah, that was the number of minutes per year. So we have a 1. So That'll get the 1. And then, now that we got the 1, now you want to know the days, right? But we have to use a mod system, which we can't really put in the calculator. So in this sense, what we saw already, we saw the remainder was 3,600 from when we made the error at the beginning. What you would do there is, once you do that, you divide it by 440, and then you get the number of days. But it converts it into a whole number in that sense once they divide, because you have to do this part first, and then you do this part first. Okay? I know it looks weird there on the calculator, but you can see it comes out right in code. You can always do it separately, but in the sense of what's going on, we get 25 days because it's 2.5 days. If when you run it back, it'll equal 25. If you were to multiply it the other way, it'll equal 25 days in minutes. So just play around with it if you guys are confused. Leave any questions in the comments below. I want to thank you guys for making it this far in the video, sticking with me with the little mathematical errors I had in there. And I hope you guys learned something new, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.